Man, welcome back, man. It's take two, y'all. They cut off the last video, but we still rocking with it. You know, the Most High must have wanted me to run this back one more time, give me a little bit more clarity. But I want to start off saying, welcome to first class. We're on this flight, we're on this journey. Let's see where it takes us, man. I'm gonna sit back, just like you, but I'm gonna connect the dots, and I'm gonna allow you to just ride the wave. We're just gonna take it easy. We're gonna dig a little bit on these dragons, these shikamaguas, and these medieval romances, right? So, again, I ask you, what does dragon mean to you, man? Like, what do you think about when you hear the word dragon? You know, are you a dragon? Maybe, maybe not, man. Only time will tell. So let's like to start it off with the right energy. We already in the plane, man, riding the wave. But I like to start it off, with the right energy, set the tone. You know, it's bigger than just hopping straight into it. Sometimes you gotta set the mood. You know what I mean? Shout out to Faves VG for the beat, man. Again, I'm asking you about these dragons, man. You probably thinking, man, what is he talking about? And what's the deal with this whole Asian, China flow? Just, again, sit back. Remember we talked about dragons? The emperor's face was the face of the dragon, and the emperor's walk was the pace of the dragon, right? But we're just talking America. We're just talking China. We're just talking ancient Mexico, right? Man, I'm hyped, man. They cut the last video off, but we back. I'm just happy to be a part of this. You got, brothers and sisters popping off all over the place with all different types of information, man. You got healers and teachers, you got spiritual practice and researchers, man. So again, I'm just proud to be a part of this, man. All praises to the Most High. And shout out Fabes VG. Man, y'all ready, man? Let's get into these dragons, man. Let's go. Shout out to Fabes VG. So last time the video crashed, but I'm gonna exit out of some of these tabs. Maybe that'll help us out. Again, real quick. One time, we gotta do the fair use. Fair use thing, Section 107 provides the statutory framework for determining whether something is a fair use and identifies certain types of uses, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So we're definitely going to dig on some criticisms, some commentary, a little news reporting, some teaching, some scholarship, and tons of research, man. So just sit back and ride the wave, man. Let me get back to YouTube, though, one more time. I kind of gotta want to give you some vibes to just chill to, on your plane ride, as we just riding the wave, man. Let me see. Hopefully, it's already up. Come on, man. All right, let's get to it, man. History, man. Let's go. My music, man. You gotta have a little bit of the healing waves in the background. As we talk about these dragons, man, because this really is a wave, man. It's a whole wave. It starts to hijack, man. They're really gonna make us watch the whole joint. All right, let's go. Kind of have it low so you can hear me. All right, we're just riding the wave. Let me get back to the beginning, man. get back to the beginning, man. Again, what does it mean? I mean, what are we talking about when we're talking about these dragons? Are you a dragon? Are we talking about America? Are we talking China? Are we talking ancient Mexico? Man, what's really going on here, though? We gotta dig on it. So let's go. Let's get into the presentation. Again, leave a note in the comments, man. If you got more information, if you have another definition of dragon, share it, man. Let's go. So it says, for all of you who missed the last video, I'll try to pick you up. But again, we're just talking winged serpents. We're talking medieval romances. We're talking fiery shooting meteors, right? So we're talking, number 3, we got a fierce, violent person, male or female, as this man or woman is a dragon, right? We're just talking dragons, right? We're talking America, right? A constellation of the northern hemisphere. See Draco. We're just following the Big Dipper, right? So again, American, from the last video, American, so it's saying a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here. Copper-colored races found here, right? But now it's saying by the Europeans, now applied to the descendants of the Europeans born in America. So now they're just telling you, they're taking your title, Khan. But let's go. We're just talking copper-colored races found here. So a Khan in Persia is an officer answering to a governor in Europe or America. Among the Tartars, a chief, right? A chief. We're just talking Shikamawas. We're talking Tecumseh, Dragon Canoe, right? We're talking Khans, Khans. So Khan, also spelled Kham, historically the ruler or monarch of a Mongol tribe, Ulus, at the time of Genghis Khan, early 13th century. So again, we're just talking medieval romances, right? A distinction was made between the title of Khan and that of Khan. So they're letting you know again, take it back, now applied to the descendants. It's a title, Khan, but we're just talking copper-colored races found here. But it says Genghis Khan in the early 13th century, a distinction was made between the title of Khan and that of Khan. All right. So from the last videos where we left off, as you can see, my man Genghis, they got him depicted as a black man here. And then down below, you got all these guys, right? What is he, a mage or magician, man? And then, this when we think of the Mongols, this is the type of image, they typically give us, right? But it says the title Genghis assumed as Great Khan or supreme ruler of the Mongols. Again, the title, this Khan is a title, but we got to ask ourselves, where were they getting this title from? Who's the real Great Khan, right? Or the supreme ruler? But it says it was subsequently adopted by many Muslim societies, okay? So again, subsequently adopted. We know this is a title, right? So it says Prince Michael of Chernigov, or Rus. We'll talk about the Ruses a little bit later, right? As we go, but it says he was passed between fires in accordance with ancient Turko-Mongol tradition. It says Batu Khan, so again, everybody's claiming his title Khan now. Batu Khan stabbed him to death for his refusal to do obeisance to Genghis Khan's shrine in the pagan ritual. So again, we have to stop and ask ourselves what's really going on and what's up with this, stabbing people to death over pagan rituals, man. What's going on here? But again, we're just talking dragons, right? Medieval romances, right? This could all be made up. But again, they're just portraying Genghis as a black man. So again, we're talking copper-colored races found here, right? We're talking swords. We're talking guns, hatchets, bow and arrow. We're talking warrior dragons, right? Found here in the Americas. Let's go. So Dragon Canoe and the Shikamawas. Shikamawas. Keep that in mind. This whole she, man, it pops up all over the place. So 1788, assisted by Chisakal, other Shawnee warriors, and Tecumseh. Tecumseh, the blazing comet, right? We'll talk about Tecumseh. Let's go. So Tecumseh, whose name in Shawnee means shooting star or blazing comet. Remember, dragon, well, one of the definitions for dragon was a fiery shooting meteor, or a fierce, violent person. a staunch and unrelenting enemy. So it says Tecumseh was born in the western Ohio Valley. And for the people who were on the last video, we can make the connection between the constellation Draco, the dragon, and the terrestrial image, the mystery serpent mound in the western Ohio Valley, which happens to be where this Tecumseh is born, right? What a coincidence. So it says the definition of a comet in Dahl's dictionary is a heavenly body. A heavenly body. Heavenly. Again, just take it for what it is, right? So it says in comparison to others is of huge mass, though sparse, nebulous, and transparent. Sometimes it may be seen to have a nucleus, while the surrounding area forms something like a tail, beard, or tangled locks, a star with a tail, right? So again, you see how they try to just breeze past this beard and tangled locks situation. But again, just for some clarity, as a so-called, Negro, so-called black man, I see beard tangled locks. I'm asking questions, man, especially when we're talking about comets, we're talking about Tecumseh, right? Just talking about dragons, man. But this is all just medieval romances. Let's go. So again, let me get you some orientation, get you to the map. It's our Quebec 1777. We're just talking Northwest Indian tribes, right? This Tecumseh and Dragon Canoe, man. The Western Ohio Valley, the terrestrial image of the constellation Draco. But again, we're just following the drinking gourd, right? So again, you can see here, we're talking 13 original colonies, yada yada, American settlers. So they got all this sold up according to this map. But we know Tecumseh, Dragon Canoe, we're talking Western Ohio Valley, we're talking the terrestrial image of the constellation Draco, is where this mysterious serpent mound is found. We're talking Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, man. We got, even more importantly down here, we're just talking Mexico, right? Mexico, right? Chicamaguas, right? But again, just want you to have some orientation, what we're talking about. So up to this point, they got this sold up. All this will be considered Mexico, right? Mexico. And we know Tecumseh is in this western Ohio Valley, the blazing comet. Let's go. Let's get back to it. But again, what do you think about when you hear the word dragon, man? Does this make sense to you? Am I reaching? You tell me. I'm just going to put it together for you. Remember, I'm just a pilot. We ride in first class. Let's go. So, again, we're just talking, we just following the drinking gourd, like I said. But, you find the Big Dipper, you find the North Star Polaris, but, no one's talking about this constellation Draco coiled between the two, right? And then you got this Rastaban, right? Rastaban, take it for what it is, man. But again, you find the Big Dipper, you find the North Star Polaris. In the middle of the two, you find this constellation Draco, the dragon, coiled between the two. And again, here's another, kind of give you an image of the dragon and the Little Dipper and the North Star Polaris, or called the constellation Ursa Minor. But we're just talking Draco, we're just talking about dragons, right? In America. Or are we talking about Mexico? But again, so this is what they're saying is the terrestrial image of the constellation, terrestrial image found in Western Ohio Valley. So they say the Cherokees say that at one time there was a giant crystal here that sullied the meridian beams of the sun. But again, just check this out, man. Check this whole structure out, man. It's just crazy. But again, they say that this crystal was stolen and the people fell into darkness. And again, this is the Cherokees. But we know that the Chicamaguas are part of the Cherokee that separated, who wanted to continue to resist colonists. They didn't want to make peaces and treaties. But unfortunately, as the story goes, this, crystal was stolen, the people fell into darkness, right? But we're just talking Serpent Man, we're talking America, we're talking Mexico, we're talking Chicamaguas, Southwest Ohio, Adams County. Let's go. Man. So it says this great serpent mound was built by the ancestors of the American Indian tribes. Again, tribes. We're talking lost tribes. We're talking just tribes. Are we talking Mexico? We talking America? Maybe we're talking about China, man. I don't know, man. Let's go. Let's put it all together. So again, we're talking Khans. Khan is in Persia an officer answering to a governor in Europe or America. Among the Tartars, a chief or prince. We'll get into the whole Tartar situation as we go, but a chief or prince. So let's pick it up. Genghis Khan, you know, distinction was made. Early 13th century, the title of Khan and that of Khan. All right, so during this time, Genghis Khan came to power within all the Mongols League and was proclaimed Khan. Proclaimed Khan. So is he proclaiming himself Khan, or is people proclaiming him Khan, or is he just taking on this title, you know, wanting to be a Khan? Who knows? Let's talk about it, right? So it says he skillfully gained control over the Mongols outside the league. Between 1207 and 1227, he undertook military campaigns that extended Mongol domains as far west as European Russia or Russia. Remember, we talked about the Rus, Prince Michael of Chernigov, the one Batu Khan stabbed to death for refusal to do obeisance to pagan rituals. But again, we're just, talking medieval romances. So says that this Genghis, conquered, as far west as European Russia and as far as northern China, taking Beijing in 1215. He died on a campaign against the Shia in northwest China. Shia, like Kamagwa. Like, I don't know, man. We'll connect the dots. But it says this name Shia, is a primarily female name of Chinese origin that means glow of the sunrise. Are we talking constellations? Are we talking about dragons? Or are we talking about people, man? Let's go, man. We're talking Shia, we're talking Shikamaru, we're talking medieval romances. So it says the Western Shia Empire, the Shia, was one of the three great barbarian empires ruling over northern China during the Sung period. It was founded by Li Yuanhao, Emperor Qing, ruler over the Tangus. The Tangus. So we're talking Shia, we're talking Tangu. A people related to the Tibetans. The Tangus controlled the trade routes between China proper and Central Asia known as the Silk Road. So these Western Shias who, Genghis Khan is, up against, these people were the Tangus, and they controlled the Silk Road. They controlled commerce, basically. If those of you that know about the Silk Road. So it says here, the Tangu, who are the Western Shia, the Tangu, Western Shia, the Tangus, or Dongxiang, the Tangus were the predominant local power in what is now eastern Gansu, Ningxia, and northern Shanxi. According to William of Rubruck, he'll come up again, who traveled to various parts of the Mongol Empire in the 13th century. Again, we're just talking medieval romances. So it says the Mongol Empire in the 13th century, the Tangus were valiant and had big swarthy men among them. Big swarthy men. So what does even swarthy even mean, right? So swarthy means of a dark color, complexion, or caste, right? We're just talking Tangus. We're talking Western Shia, right? We're talking about Mongol Empire. We're just talking medieval romances, right? So it says these Tangus, people historically living in what are now the northwestern Chinese provinces of Gansu and Shanxi. Let me make a quick point that this dragon canoe leader of the Shikamaguas, real name is Cu, or pronounced Cu Gansini. Does that have anything to do with this? I don't know. Only time will tell. So it says they engaged in irrigated agriculture and pastoralism and taking advantage of their location at the eastern end of the Silk Road. And they acted as middlemen in trade between Central Asia and China. They adopted Buddhism as their state religion, created their own writing system, and in 1038 proclaimed their kingdom of Shia, which survived nearly 200 years. So we're talking Tangus, right? But when we're talking about Tangus, we're talking about the Shia. But what's super important, it says these Tangus or Shia created their own system of writing. So, that's next level, right? Creating your own system of writing. But we're talking Western or Northwestern China. Are we talking about Chinese letters, Chinese scripts? Are we talking Khitan script? I mean, only time will tell, man, but I think it's really important to point out that they created their own writing system and they survived nearly 200 years. So we're talking about an empire, right? So it says the Mongol conquest of Western Shia, or the Western Shia dynasty, also called Shia, the Tangus. We're putting it all together. The Shia, the Tangus. It says the Mongol leader Genghis Khan commanded some initial raids against Western Shia. Genghis intended to annihilate the entire Western Shia culture. So again, let's pause and ask ourselves, from what we saw about Genghis earlier, Batu Khan stabbing Prince Michael of Chernigov to death for refusal to do obeisance to the pagan ritual. But now we're talking Genghis is trying to annihilate entire cultures, man. So we got to ask ourselves, what's the deal with Genghis and why is he so upset? Only time will tell, man. Let's go. Let's get some orientation. So again, let's talk about it. Let's get it at this Rouge map. One more time, we're just talking Tangus, we're talking Western Shia, we're talking America, right? Are we talking China, man? So let's take a look. So we got Africa here, right? What we would assume to be Africa. We got Europe, the Middle East, going into Asia, but then over here would only make sense, America, right? So let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right, bang, man. So right off the top, we got Tangu right here, right? Tangu, but we're just talking Western Shia. Are we talking America or are we talking China? Man, come on. Again, let's back out one time, give you some more orientation. Again, Africa, Europe, Middle East, and America, right? It only makes sense. So zoom in, we got Tangu, right? Who we know are the Western Shia, who we know are these swarthy, dark colored, dark skinned Tangus, right? So again, keep that in your mind. Just think about it, man. I don't mean to throw your orientation off, but you see these old maps, man, you gotta start asking yourself these questions. So again, we're just talking Tangu, right? Tangu. Let's go. Let's go. We're just talking Mexico, right? We're just talking America. So again, let's get back to it. It says the Olmec called themselves the Shi. The Olmecs called themselves the Shi. So we're talking Shia? Or are we talking Tangu, right? But it says the same name that they used when they were in China. So they were in China? Are we talking America? Are we talking Mexico? What's going on? The first major civilization in Mexico. So, you got to ask yourself what's really going on here, right? The same name they used when they were in China. The Olmec called themselves the Shi. We know the Shia are the Tangu, are the swarthy Tangus, man, who Genghis, had a problem with. Let's go. So at first, again, I didn't want to show this because I feel like, everybody shows this, but I feel like it's only necessary to give you some perspective. Right? So just take it for what it is. So we're talking Olmec, who called themselves the Shi, when they were in China, first major civilization in Mexico. But we know the Shi are the Tangus, right? The same ones Genghis is trying to annihilate. So again, the Olmec. So it says the Olmec here, the Olmec civilization is a matter of hot debate, man. So when we talk about Olmecs, we're talking about the Shi, people get upset, right? But we're just talking the mother culture of many other cultures that appeared in the region in later years. These cultures, such as the Maya, right? We're talking Kukulkan, right? The Mayas, right? The mysterious Mayas, the ones they say disappeared, right? Or are they hidden in plain sight? So, I had to dig on this article as I was doing my research, and man, basically this guy is saying that any comparison of this Mexico culture is hijacked, man. That it's it's a myth. It's all pseudo historical, but he's basically saying that Africans established or helped establish one of the oldest major civilizations, or he's saying that Africans didn't establish one of the oldest major civilizations. But we're not talking about Africans because we're not looking at it from a Pan-African perspective. We're looking at it from a copper-colored races found here, Americans, right? We're just talking the Olmec, who call themselves the Shia, when they were in China, the first major civilization in Mexico, right? But we know the Shia are the Tengu, are the Swarthi Tengus, right? Or we're just talking Olmecs, man. So he says that, you know, the idea of the Black Olmecs is rooted in pseudo-historical revisionism and is not accepted by legitimate Mesoamerican scholars, right? So he's along the lines, basically he's saying we're hijacking, or you know, these Pan-Africans are hijacking, or maybe we're hijacking. We're digging on the same information, but he says it's not accepted by legitimate Mesoamerican scholars. But how are you saying that we're hijacking all the while defending the hijack, right? Come on, make it make sense. But he says that there's no clear archaeological, faunal, floral, genetic, or historical evidence that exists. Man, is that hijack? Because all we're doing is digging on this info. We're just talking Olmecs. We're talking the Shi, the name that the Olmecs called themselves when they're in China, who are the first major civilization in Mexico, right? But we're just talking Western Shia, who are the Tengus, right? We're just talking Olmecs, right? Come on, man. So again, hijack, to take control of something as if by hijacking, often specifically to change the topic or focus of something, such as a conversation, to redirect, to subject to extortion or swindling. So again, don't be swindling. We gotta ask who's really hijacking who, man. All right. So he says if these assertions were being made in the reverse by white authors about Black African culture, they'd be met with racist interpretations. But again, he's talking about these people who are digging on a Pan-African perspective. But where's his research, right? He's saying we're making outlandish claims, but we're just doing research. And all we can come up with, right, is that these Olmecs are the Shi, who are the first major civilization in Mexico, who are the Tengus, man, the Swarthi Tengus, man. I can't make this up, man. But again, I can understand why you would be upset if you felt someone was hijacking your culture. But are you hijacking another culture is the question you really gotta ask, man. Especially if you're supporting the hijack. So again, we're just digging on the information. Take it for what it is. We're not claiming to have it all figured out here. But we know we're not making outlandish claims. So again, we're talking Olmec, who are the Shi, right? When they were in China, the first major civilization in Mexico. Let's remember, get our orientation. But now we're just talking about the Shishimek, right? Okay, now, can I make this up? Shishimek, like Shishia, like Western Shi, like Olmec, like Chickamauga. Like, come on, man, this Shi is everywhere. So it says any one of the Nahuatlan peoples in Mexico before the rise of the Aztec Empire, a warlike people of northern Mexico. Warlike, like fiery breathing dragons, male or female, fierce, violent, fiery warriors. Are we talking Shishi? Are we talking Shishimek? Are we talking Olmec, right? So it says the Shishimek, any of several groups of Indians who invaded central Mexico from the north again, will have some more perspective in the 12th and 13th centuries. We're just talking medieval romances, right? It says they ended the Toltec hegemony in the region. Their language, also called Shishimek. So we already know that these Shishi and the Tengus came up with their own system of writing. But now we're learning that these Shishimeks were more than likely connected to the Shishia, have their own language as well, right? But again, we're just talking Shia, right? Shia, right? Again, this Shia is everywhere, man. We're talking Shishia, we're talking Shishimek, we're talking Chickamaugas, and we're talking Olmec, right? But we're just talking Mexico. We're just talking dragons. We're just talking America, right? Medieval romances. So it says a Caris people occupying a pueblo in northwestern New Mexico. Again, you're asking yourself, how are these Shishia and these Olmecs all connected, and how Can you claim to be the Olmec, but you are the Shia in China, man? But we'll take a look at this Carta Marina, this Nuovo Tavola. Man, this is important because when you start looking at these old maps, man, you just start to ask a lot of questions, man. You start to ask a lot of questions. And again, we took a look at the Ruish map, and we already seen Tangu and what would appear to be, America, right? So again, let's take a closer look. Zoom in. Again, as you can see, we got Florida here, right? So if there's Florida, right, then we know where we are. This is, so-called America. We got Mexico, we got Florida, but we got Tangu, right? Tangu, who are the Western Shi, who are the Olmecs, right? Who control the Silk Road, right? The Swarthi Olmec, the Swarthi Tangus. And we got all this area, what they're calling India Superior, right? This doesn't add up from what they teach you in school, man. We got Katayo, we got Manji, we got China, right? Dude, so China is where the Shi were located, and the Olmecs are saying that they were called the Shi when they were in China, but we're just talking Mexico, right? Or are we talking Shikamawa? Or are we talking Shishimek, right? Are we talking Shishia? Or are we talking Tangu, man? Let's go. But the question you gotta ask yourself is, were these people so thrown off? I mean, they had everything else, seemed to be figured out with what modern day, cartography. But, we come over here, we got Asia, what we would assume to be Asia connected to America. And we got Mexico and we got the whole Tangu situation, man. So, what's really going on here, man? You gotta ask yourself this question. But Katayo, keep this in mind. We'll talk about the Katayo at the end, man, but keep that in your mind. But again, what's really going on? What's really going on? Again, I'll leave these maps and the links, all this stuff in the description. All right, let's go. Let's go, man. We're just talking Olmecs, right? We're talking Shishia, we're just talking dragons, a little Shikamaguas, just a little medieval romances, man, We're just following the drinking gourd, man. Just, we're riding the wave, man. We're sitting back in first class. We enjoying this flight. We connecting the dots, man. Let's go. So now we're talking about the Toltecs, okay? So a member of a people that dominated central and southern Mexico. Remember, just like a look, Mexico, right? Toltecan, right? Toltecan, like American, right? Like Kakan, right? Kukulkan, right? We're just talking Mexico, talking America. Shoot, maybe we're talking about China, man. Who knows at this point? So it says Mixcoatl, or the cloud serpent. Remember, we're talking constellation Draco. We're talking the terrestrial image of the constellation Draco, the mysterious serpent mound in southwestern Ohio. And now we got Mixcoatl, who was a Mesoamerican god identified with hunting, the Milky Way, and the stars and heavens in general. The god may originally have derived from a deified hunter and warrior leader of the Toltec Shishimec peoples of central Mexico. Come on, man. So now you're telling me the Toltec are the Shishimec, right? The Toltecs are the Shishimecs, are the Shia? Come on, man. I can't make this up. So are we talking Shishia? Are we talking Shishimec? Are we talking Olmec? Or are we talking Western Shia, who are the Tangus, right? Who Genghis Khan had a problem with. He intended to annihilate the entire culture. We see he didn't get everybody because these Shishia, we got the Shishimec, we got the Toltecs, popping off in Mexico, or China, or America. You tell me, right? The Toltec Shishimec. But again, let's talk about this real quick because we're just talking Mexico, we're just talking dragons, right? But they're calling this Mixcoatl, it's Quetzalcoatl, they're calling them gods, right? But they're saying that maybe this derived from a deified hunter and a warrior. Are we talking dragons, hunter, warrior, fierce warrior, leaders, chiefs, right? But maybe to them, He was so powerful. He seemed as if he was a god, man. Or maybe he was. I mean, again, we're not claiming to have this all figured out. We're just putting the puzzle together. We're just talking Shia, right? We're just talking Mexico. We're just talking Tengu, right? Come on, let's go. The Swarthy Tengus. So it says the feathered serpent was a prominent supernatural entity or deity found in many Mesoamerican religions. It is still called Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl, or Mixcoatl, right? The cloud serpent, the deified hunter warrior leader, the Shishimeg Toltecan, right? The Kukulkan, right? Among the Yucatec Maya, and Kuukumat and Tohil among the Kiish Maya. Again, who are these Maya, right? These mysterious Maya, so-called disappeared, or again, maybe they're just hiding in plain sight, man. We're just talking Kukulkan, right? Kukulkan. So it says the Toltecs sacked and burned the great city of Teotihuacan. Tradition tells that this occurred under the leadership of Mixcoatl, the cloud serpent. We're just talking dragons, right? Under his son, Ka'aktul, Topiltzin, Quetzalcoatl. They formed a number of small states of various ethnic origins into an empire later in the 10th century. We're just talking medieval romances, right? So it says the ruler Topiltzin introduced the cult of Quetzalcoatl, right? Which name he adopted. So again, we got to remember, like, a lot of these names are just titles, right? So, as we dig through the information, we just got to keep that in our mind, because who is who, right? What's really going on. But what we do know is that the Toltec are the Shishimeg, who are the Olmec, who are the Western Shi, who are the Swarthy Tengus, right? So, again, this says the cult of Quetzalcoatl, but again, we don't know if this is hijack either. We don't really know what's going on. We're just connecting the dots. But, we can assume like Genghis took the title of Khan, that a lot of these names are just titles, right? Again, let's take a look at the map one more time with some perspective. I really like this Carter Marina, man. But again, we're talking Florida, so we're talking America, we're talking Mexico, we're talking Mexico, but we're also talking China and Tengu and this India Superior and how it's all connected on this map. Again, this is very interesting. I'll leave the links in the bio. So again, we're just talking about dragons in America, right? Again, leave a comment. What does a dragon mean to you? Does this make sense? Am I reaching? What do you think, man? You tell me. I'm just a pilot. We just riding first class. We just following and drinking gold. So let's go. So it says the Tengu. We said Tengu. We just saw Tengu, or the Dang Xiang. Tengus were a predominant power in Gansu, Ningxi, and Shanxi. And this William of Rubruck is calling these Tengus, these swarthy or dark color complexion, Tengus, or the Olmecs, or the Shi, or the Shishimek, or the Shikamaguas, or the Shia. I mean, it's all over the place, man. What's going on? Let's go. So it says the Mongol conquest of Western Shia again identified the Shia, the Tengu, and this whole Genghis Khan, intending to annihilate the entire, pretty much the entire culture, right? But that's why we have to ask ourselves the question, why would he want to annihilate an entire culture, man? What's really going on? And, who are these Olmecs, man? They're calling themselves the Shi when they were in China. But as you can see, that the Shi are the Tengu, who are the Olmecs, right? I mean, we're just putting it together. So it says the word Kakan, or Great Khan, Ka for great or supreme. So we're talking Kakan, are we talking Kukulkan? Are we talking American, right? So this Rubruck told you he would come up again. He says in Central Asia there once lived this Khan, right? So we see Khan, we already know is the great supreme ruler or chief of the Black Khitans, man. So we're just talking Khans, right? We're just talking Shia, we're talking Tengu, we're talking America, man. We're talking the great Khan, right? So it says when the Khan died, the Black Khitans came under the rule of the Mongols. under Genghis Khan, who overthrew the Karakutai Empire, right? We're just talking Mongol. We're talking Genghis, right? Who intended to annihilate the Western Shia culture, right? But we're just talking Shia and the Tengu, who are the Olmecs, who are the Shemex and the Chickamaugas, the Toltecs, man. We're just putting it all together. So again, it says this Khan, or chief of the Black Khitans. Remember we talked about Katayo, the Black Khitans, and under Genghis he overthrew the Karakutai. So remember Genghis, his name Genghis, or Temujin. Remember this Temujin, all right? So it says, relying on secondhand information, the 13th century chronicler Matthew Paris, we're just talking medieval romances, called the Mongols or Genghis and them a detestable nation of Satan that poured out like devils from Tartarus, so that they are rightly called Tartars. So this is where this whole Tartary situation is coming in. This Matthew Paris, we're just talking medieval romances. Says he was making a play on words with the classical word Tartarus, hell, and the ancient tribal name of Tatar. Or ancient tribal, are we talking, what tribes are we talking about? These tribes keep coming up. Are we talking lost tribes? Are we talking tribes of America, tribes of Mexico, tribes of Kitai, of China, right? We have to start asking these questions, especially when, right, we're talking about Khan, and we're talking about Genghis intending to annihilate entire cultures, man. And Batu Khan, stabbing somebody to death for refusing to obeisance to a pagan ritual. So we gotta ask ourselves what's really going on here, right? So it says Genghis first secured his western flank by a tough campaign against the Tengu kingdom of Shia. So we know the Swarthi Tengus, who are the Shia, and the Olmecs, who are calling themselves the Shi, man. Is it all tied together, right? Gotta ask these questions. So we're learning about Togrul, right? But again, let's take a step back. Remember Genghis or Temujin, who overthrew the Karakutai, right? Who wanted to annihilate the Western Shia. So Togrul, also known as Wang Khan or Ong Khan, was a Khan of the Karaites or the Karakutai. The Karakutai, who was run or ruled by the Khan, right? Khan, the chief of the Black Khitans, right? The Karakutai. So it says Togrul, also known as Wang Khan or Ong Khan, the Khan of the Karaites. He was the blood brother of the Mongol chief Yusaji, and served as an important early patron and ally to Yushizi's son Temujin. So they're basically saying that this Togrul or Khan or Khan, the Khan of the Karakutai, the Khan, or the Black Khitans, the Karakutai, right? Basically saying that nephew Temujin, who we learned is Genghis Khan, right? Temujin. So what's really going on, man? Why's Genghis got a problem with man? What's going on, yo? So again, it says Wang Khan was a name given to Togrul by the Jurchen legend dynasty of China. Wang meaning king or prince. So King Khan. Are we talking Khan, right? Supreme ruler. So again, we're just talking medieval romances, right? So it says Togrul was one of several Asian leaders who was identified with the legend of Prester John, but also King David's. Pause. Let's stop, man. We gotta go back. Now we're talking about King David. We're talking China. We're talking Mexico. We're talking Americans, man. Come on. But now we're talking about King David, the Karakutai, and Genghis Khan. What's really going on here? So now we're talking about the Prester, we're talking about King David, right? But they're saying that this Togrul was the blood brother of the Mongol chief Yusaji, right? So what's really going on, man? Is this royal blood? Is this family feud? We're just connecting the dots, man. But we're talking China, right? Or we're talking Karakutai, the Black Khitans. Come on, man. So again, as we get out of here, take a look at this map. Orontius Fine's map of 1531. We'll talk about Orontius Fine a little, and Marco Polo, and some of these other characters in the next video. But, right now we're talking Katai, the Black Khitans, Katai. We're talking Asia, but are we talking Asia? Or are we talking Mexico, right? Because we got Florida here, so this would be the Gulf of Mexico, right? Just from our perspective, our orientation. But now we're talking Katai, we're talking Ong Khan, Prester John, we're talking King David. Come on, man, we're talking there lived in the Central Asia a certain Khan, great Khan or supreme ruler, chief of the Black Khitans, right? Genghis Khan's going up against the Katai, right? But we also know that Genghis is up against these Western Shia. He wants to annihilate the entire Western Shia culture. But we do know that the Olmecs are the Shi, right? Who are the Tengus, man, the swarthy Tengus. Man, we gotta really sit back and ask ourselves what's going on here. Where are we, right? Just gotta get some orientation, right? So again, we're talking Katai, but we're talking Asia, or Khitan, or Mexico, or the Shishia, or the Shishimek, right? Toltecan, the Chicamaguas, right? The Katai, the Black Khitans, man. As we put it all together, man, it starts to become more clear. But I appreciate everybody rocking with me to this end of this video. But we just gotta ask ourselves these questions, man. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description. And we gotta really just ride this wave, man. I appreciate y'all riding this first class flight. Let's get out of here. Let's go. So again, we're just talking Genghis Khan, a black man. But now we're talking Prester John, Prester Juan. What are we really talking about, man? Prester John, but also King David, the brother of the Mongol chief, uncle to Temujin, Genghis Khan. But again, we're just talking medieval romances, right? We're talking Khan, right? Katai, right? Katai. I mean, come on, man. Mexico, America, Katai. So it says this Prester John is the Emperor de los Abysinios. Emperor, like we learned, Emperor in China and Japan meant the dragon, right? The dragon's pace, the dragon's face, man. Let's go. But again, why is Genghis' ancestors, Batu Khan, stabbing people to death for refusal to do obeisance to pagan rituals, right? And then we gotta ask ourselves, why are these all depicted as black men, right? What's really going on? But we're just talking Katai, right? Katai, the Black Khitan, right? We're talking America, we're talking Asia, and we're talking Mexico, right? But again, we're just riding the wave, man. I appreciate everybody, sticking with me to the end and let me think out loud. Let me be your pilot on this flight. And, all praises to the Most High for allowing us to see clearly. Again, man, we're just talking Genghis Khan. We're talking Prester John. Let's go, man. We'll talk about the Rooses in later videos, and we'll make some more connections, man. Take a look at some more maps. But again, all praises to the Most High. Allah Hawa.